It was the first day of the Vietnamese Tet New Year's celebration, and we had the day off. So we were out walking around the streets of downtown Saigon, enjoying the sights, like this super long fireworks display that they lower down from the building. However, what was a holiday soon turned into the Tet Offensive, as history books show it and was shown in the early newspapers. We were put in a curfew in our hotel and had to stay there listening to Armed Force radio, waiting to hear what to do to get back to work.
Here's a security announcement for the Saigon-Cholan area. The 24-hour curfew remains in effect until further notice. Only official military vehicles will be used for travel in the area. Personnel will either remain in their billet, at their duty station, or in transit between the two. Individual military vehicles should not travel alone in the Saigon-Cholan area. A minimum of 2 vehicles should be used, with a second vehicle acting as armed escort for the first. The curfew for all American civilians between 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. remains in effect, as does the curfew for all Vietnamese civilians between 2 in the afternoon and 8 in the morning. The Saigon-Cholan area is not considered secure. Sniper fire and other incidents are expected to continue. Exercise extreme caution. Personnel using military buses are warned not to congregate at bus stops.
The Army group we were working under followed these instructions exactly by providing the armed escort to get us from our downtown hotel out to the Phu Lam communication base, which was in the Cholon area, which was cited as being a unsecure area. They did a real good job of transporting us around, took good care of us. At the base, we had the privilege of working on the AUTODIN system, running acceptance tests. AUTODIN turned out to be, you might say, the beginning of the internet, in spite of what Al Gore said. The AUTODIN building was a new addition to a base that has been there for a long time, which is already a pretty good size. It featured the torn tape relay center, but AUTODIN was soon to replace that. The building itself that we were in was just a sheet metal building that you might say wasn't all that safe to be in, so they built some bunkers right outside it. And we did have the privilege of spending one night in there when the base was mortared, and our worst problem was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, but we were safe. The Army was always taking good care of us. They were even building more bunkers while we were running the tests. This is a direct hit by a mortar on one of the small buildings on the base. We spent a lot of time up in this observation tower when we were taking breaks from the testing. Gave us a good view of the area. You could see the area was not very inhabited, and it made a good perimeter for defending the place. Probably one of the reasons it was located out there. At the time we were there, the Tet Offensive was in a phase where they were counterattacking, and that featured at this point. They were dive bombing the Viet Cong, which were over in the racetrack area. You can't quite see the bomb here, but they were doing that on a regular basis. The time finally came that our testing ended. We wrapped it up. It was running a little late, but we did get it done. And it was time to make that last trip back to the hotel and then eventually back out to the airport. We had to say goodbye to Phu Lam, which will always live on in our memory as a little experience that life brings to you when you don't plan on it.
Some initial reports of civilian refugees are beginning to pour into the Vietnamese capital from provinces. An initial total shows over 254,000 refugees as a result of the Viet Cong Tet Offensive.
The waiting room at the airport provided one last reminder of the Tet Offensive. a direct hit by a rocket on the ceiling. And never before have I seen a plane take off at such a sharp angle.